I am triggered and I wanted to talk about an interesting conversation or an interesting concept. Um, so, I stumbled upon a former psychic, I guess. I stumbled upon a former psychic and on YouTube. And I'm not even going to name drop. It's actually somebody very famous, a very famous ex psychic that turned Christian. Um, and so I from here and there, I check her channel from time to time. And when I stumbled upon her channel, I see that she recently put up a video stating why Christians shouldn't go and see psychics. And in the little caption, it says, revealed by former psychic, or I guess testimonials from former psychics. Okay, first of all, there is no such thing as a former psychic. If you were born psychic, if you have that spiritual gift, you don't just one day not become a psychic. You can't do that. And I've explained this to y'all a lot of the times, especially those of you that are empaths. A lot of people think that when somebody says that they are a psychic, which is why I call myself a spiritual life coach or a witch's coach. Seriously. Because if you have that gift, whether or not you choose to use the cards, because, I do all sorts of readings that come, uh, straight from, I don't really use the cards all the time, especially when it comes to doing um, picture readings. Okay, when I study pictures or when I look at pictures. And anyway, as an empath, a lot of the times the way that I look at the services that I provide is because I believe that you have already, unless it's a bad outcome, like it's a horrible outcome, but you've sort of already, even sometimes then, you've kind of agreed with that, or maybe you manifested it. You may not have agreed with it, you didn't want it, but you managed to manifest it out of your fears or either your self-doubt. But if an outcome, so basically what I'm saying is that getting a psychic reading is not just about an outcome. It's not just about that. I am more of a psychic empath, which means that I can pick up on how people are feeling. Well, not pick up on it. I can actually read how people are feeling, just by talking to them, just, like sometimes I'll have conversations with people and I'll feel, um, and I'll just feel certain, energies coming from maybe how they were feeling or maybe so. But I think that the main aspects and the benefit is because sometimes when you're waiting on an outcome, or which a lot of us seem to be doing that instead of just kind of flowing through life, a lot of people are just kind of waiting for some kind of outcome. And that's not what it's always about. I believe that it's a spiritual journey where you're dealing with several aspects of yourself, sometimes several aspects of life, where you are dealing with the in between, which sometimes people need clarity. So it is what it is. Now, for somebody to say I'm a former psychic or I'm a former witch, how does that work? Because you either are or you not. Whether or not I work for the public or not, I still have to deal with being an empath. I still have to deal with feeling things on such a deep level that it's like I gotta do something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I gotta come up with an answer or some kind of solution. So you can't like regardless to like because I started doing work for the public in 2015. I can't just go and say I'm a former psychic, even if I were to close my business, which I never will. I'll be doing this to the day that I die, which I feel is going to be years and years and probably about 50 years from now. So I don't have that fear. But even if I were to close down my company or retire, that's what I want to say, retire. Even if I were to do that, I would still have to deal with being an empath and I would still be a witch. I would still be a medium because I'm actually a medium. So you can't just go like okay, if you're a psychic, which is why you have to make sure that you specify what you do. Like for me, I am a psychic medium, like literally spirits, and trust me, they are everywhere. And it's not a scary thing either. I'm not even always on. A lot of the times, I'll be sitting here doing normal stuff, and when something comes up and it comes in through intuition, through spirit, I think it's all about because I think that what happens is that you may be an authentic psychic, but you may have had a scary experience. And I've actually had scary experiences in witchcraft. I have like serious scary experiences to where the second time that or the last time, the final time that I came back to the craft because those people that are saying that they're former, they're going to come back because you're always that. If you are an actual authentic psychic that is meant to do work for other people, or which is to divinate for other people, it's just who you are. It's your life purpose. So people that change their path, it's okay for you to change your path. But why, to me, is kind of like this lady has been throwing so much shade at us, which is why because I had a couple of her decks, and it's like, okay, like I understand that you're now with the church. Right, right. You just don't like one day all of a sudden you're not this spiritual being anymore. It does not work that way. I can honestly tell you that even before doing work for the public, I knew I was an empath. And and I would think about it all the time. Like I would go into this deep thought process about it while I was figuring it out. And so for me, embracing it to the point where I've opened up my own business has been amazing for me. It's been amazing for me, and it's been very healing for me. So I think that when people say that, can we say that maybe they're not authentic? Because psychic is not a title, it's a state of being. The word psychic is not a title. It's a state of being. It's you know what I'm saying? It's who you are. That's just like I'm an empath. I'm more of an empath than a psychic, but what I do know is that you can always have either more than one outcome or I do know that it literally is the journey in between that. Like for example, you know like I don't know how what can I use as an example, an important event that may be coming up, and you may want this event to go well, and you may want this event to bring more to you and more to your life. So this is where you're anticipating an outcome, and because you want that outcome to lead to another outcome. So it's that wave in between it. You know that it's coming to you, but then now you have to be patient. And so it's the same thing with spell work. But so we're not just here to say, what's my future? Okay, we can do that. But a lot of times people are contacting me about what they're going through in the moment, like what's going on right now. Like, and yeah, you can predict a future outcome by being a psychic. Absolutely. By getting a reading, especially like, because I look at a lot of the pick a card readings on here, and they're usually very accurate and spot on. And I don't know. I noticed that. So it's more so the waiting, I guess. I don't know, Saturn, because the whole time concept is comes from Saturn. She still got them checked too. I forget her name. Tarot in the life's journey to finding true love, staring at the full card. Oh. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, okay, because I'll never stop doing this. Never. I ain't it's who I am. So I can't just go and say I'm not an empath anymore. I'm gonna leave that stuff away because I know that. Now I will tell you that I'm dealing with a lot of different people's feelings and thoughts right now. Okay, like my children, because I am a mother, but they kind of, hey Jen, hello. My children, they kind of just do their thing. They're, especially my daughters. My sons need a lot of direction from me, but my daughters, they're just like, I'm grown, I'm good. Oh, mom, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. How are you? Well, so it makes me feel good to know that they're like that though, because but they do come to me for, every once in a while when they need something. But being an empath, oh my goddess, it's different. It is. It's different. And empaths can usually end up being these hermit type of people, kind of, especially like the world drove me crazy the day before Thanksgiving. I couldn't even focus. I couldn't even focus. I couldn't. It was so weird. So it's not just spirits, it's also energies. So I just could feel everybody just, people get to rushing to the stores, and it's just like, and it's like, what are they doing? But then on Thanksgiving, I felt like a lot of relief coming from the world. And then even today, like there's a lot of people that are in a very positive place, are anticipating. Okay. Either it's anticipation or it's either, wanting to relax. I'm personally fired up today, ready to do some readings though. I really am. And it saddens me when people take it as that. I absolutely hate that. I hate it when it's kind of like, it's weird. And it's not something that you just decided to make up in your head. It's something that you've always known. Like every single idea, with maybe a few extra added lessons that I've learned. This is stuff that I've been paying attention to for for my entire life. So it's not just like I just discovered all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've learned more since I've been doing spiritual work for the public, but nobody can ever say that they're not psychic if they're a psychic. If you're a medium, you're always going to be a medium. I guess you could go and get on some medication that will block access to that, but it still comes through. It does. That's what they talk about in a lot of these scary movies and stuff. Like it'll be somebody having a haunting or some kind of spiritual experience. Literally how it is for a lot of us mediums. And they usually show the woman, she's like having these visions, and she's all upset, and then she takes these antidepressants, and this is supposed to block it out, but it actually doesn't. It doesn't. So you can't just shut that part of yourself off and just walk away forever. Like, I don't know, it's kind of giving me a little tightness up here because I feel like it's a sore spot, especially if you're somebody that If you're somebody that feels as though something happened that has scared you off from it, if you feel that way, like I totally understand. Like I'm not judging you at all. I just would appreciate if that would go both ways. Thank you. Seriously. Like I don't judge you for that because I know that when I walked away from witchcraft years and years ago, well, it was mainly because of inexperience. It was mainly because it wasn't the right time. And I've learned a lot since then. And then also, I think it's also about taking it seriously what you doing. Because previously, I took it seriously. I took witchcraft seriously, but not really. I mean, I didn't realize especially with what the world is going through right now. You know what I'm saying? With what the world is going through right now. So, I don't know, guys. Like, you just can't do that, though. That's just like I can't come on here and go, I'm not a witch anymore. My great grandmother was a witch on both sides of the family. My big mama was a midwife. I mean, come on now. It's just in me. It is. It's just in me. Okay. So you can't just turn it off. I guess you could if you said, look, I don't want nothing to do with that. You know what? Maybe that's considered to be the matrix. Y'all ever thought about that? Like, it's like, well, I don't want to deal with that no more because I can't really handle that which is reality. So I'm going to go back into the matrix and pretend that it doesn't exist and try to ignore it. I guess I'm pretty okay with it, you know? In fact, I'm 100% okay with it, especially witchcraft. But I think that the first time that the mistake that I made the first time when I decided to open up that portal inside of myself. Um, and all portals are not bad. My mistake is that I wasn't doing enough divination. That was my mistake. I didn't have not one tarot deck, not one oracle deck. I just started doing magic, and I'm trying to think of any other mistakes that I made. Yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and didn't get back into it until hard body. I got back into it in my mid 30s, and that was when spirit kind of contacted me, and it was just like I couldn't help it. It was like it's time, and this is this is what you gonna do. This is and it wasn't like it was something else telling me what to do. It was my own consciousness, which is self. So no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Talk about dimensions. Oh, you mean how there's other dimensions crossing over into ours? Is that what you're talking about? Because that may be a thing. A Wild Style Vlog said it. Yes, I am talking about her. I ain't even going to call her name. She's a Christian witch now, She's still a witch, but she's a Christian witch. Which is understandable. Like, I don't judge her at all, but it's just, I trust witchcraft more than I trust the Bible. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And it just, I guess that makes me a bad person. I get, yeah, right. Superhuman Christians, huh? Yeah. Yeah, because I felt that. Like, I feel like she's getting revenge. Or like, who Doreen Virtue kind of reminds me of is Hecate. Like, you know how Hecate, historically, she got mad at witches for some reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and I'm going to tell y'all something, the relationship that I have with Hecate and Lilith and Kali Ma, when Hecate is getting on my nerve, I go to Lilith. When Lilith is getting on my nerve, I go to Kali Ma. So it's kind of like, because I be sometimes, sometimes you are going to disagree with your deities. If you have a real relationship with them, you're going to disagree with them sometimes. And it's a trip because you can even tell because it'll be kind of just that intuition. Like, I don't know. She does remind me of Hecate getting mad at the witches for some reason. So I don't know. She's still getting them checks though, huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that she is. Ugh. She claims that she's not though, but I don't believe her. And she did make a lot of money. Lady made a lot of money. She's probably, I guess, I don't know. I thought about doing a reading on her. Y'all think I should do that? I should do a reading, like an actual real psychic reading on Doreen Virtue because she triggers the hell out of me. And I'm like, well, first of all, she is older than all of us. She's got to be in her 60s or 70s by now. And she does look good for her age. I know that lady got to be about 60 or 70 by now. Okay. So she may have the whole time been looking at spirituality totally different and probably not as deep as we are. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably has a different attitude about it, especially for her to say former psychic. Like what the hell? What is a former psychic? I've seen children as young as 3 years old be psychic. I've had children literally tell me what I'm thinking. Literally, I've had these experiences before. So and adults. Okay, so you can't tell me that that's not just a natural ability. And I feel like you just gotta learn how to control it, like any other spiritual gift. You just gotta learn how to control it. Yeah, it must have been halfway open because I didn't understand that. You can't be a former psychic though. It's impossible. It's a part of who you are. So maybe she was a fraud. Maybe so. Because most of the people that I know personally, and then I can only speak for myself. I take this very seriously. What I do, I take it very seriously, like to the point where it's for life type of thing. It's for life. Okay, I am stuck in it for life, and I don't mind, and I hope that I'm the same way in the next lifetime too. Maybe with a early on development or different circumstances early on. As far as like, I don't know. I'm not even going to get to talking about my parents. I'm not going to do that. Like, I do wish for the next lifetime that my parents are, I don't know, like tree huggers and crystal chasers. Like neither one of my parents was like that. Even though my mother believed in witchcraft and she was a witch, you never caught my mom just outside hugging a tree or walking barefoot on the nah. Nope. She you weren't gonna catch her doing that. And I don't know why it's so good for you. I don't know. Like it's almost like some kind of weird energy where like maybe a bunch of people's are under mind control or something because I don't know, that's kind of weird. Help me, Tupac trying to kill me. Are you serious, James Barnwell? And you want me to help you? Because if Tupac trying to do something to you, I don't know. That must mean you may have done something wrong. I'm not gonna get involved with that. Mm-mm. Good luck with that one. I ain't about to mess with no Tupac. Mm-mm. I ain't messing with no Tupac. That's a troll, y'all. I'm just kind of, what do you call it? I'm humoring the troll right now. And if he continues to fill up the chat room, I'm going to block him. I am not mean. I just, hey, I love Tupac. Was my boy. I liked him. So I don't feel that I should involve myself in that. I need to mind my own business right now. Maybe you should make Tupac an offering or something, or maybe even burn some ancestor money. Yeah, I know how to mind my own business. I'm telling you. Yeah. Tupac is a very powerful man. I ain't messing with him. That's just like if you was a say was with no Michael Jackson. I ain't messing with Mike. That was a god. That was a like people don't realize that Michael Jackson was an actual living god. He was, and y'all know it. Like y'all know it for real. So I ain't messing with him either. All right, James, don't get frisky in the chat room. So yeah, I just can't not be. You can't do that. So yeah, I don't know. You know, I know that I'm about to get me something to eat. What time is it? Okay, yeah, because I need to eat something. That's what I'm about to go do. So I just think it's so weird. Like, and I've been seeing like readers leave and stuff, and it's like I said, you do want to make sure that you protect yourself. And I wouldn't advise somebody that's not a witch to just be out here doing psychic readings to people. And I think you have to be very experienced. You see, I didn't come on YouTube and start offering this until I was in my late 30s. So I was a late bloomer, and it just is one of them things, man. You got to take it seriously. You can't just think of this as a hustle either. Because when you think of it like that, then, because it's definitely not a hustle for me at all. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The stuff that I went through just recently with clients, like no, it's to really really be genuine about. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't like to feel like every single drop of my client's pain, but I catch some of it. Like, it's just to let me know it's not real for me necessarily, unless I may be going through my own stuff, but I know how to decipher the difference. So, but it's something that I take very seriously. And I do make sure that I keep a cool and level head while being empathic with people, but then also being able to separate myself from that and going with my intuition. Like, for example, if you're talking to me about something that's going on and a bad spirit is on you and I can feel it, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do some incantations. So in that, using my intuition and going with that flow has helped me tremendously. So, I found some keys at intersection by my poppy store. I thought it might be good luck until I researched picking up keys at intersection wasn't a good idea. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I wouldn't pick up nothing like. Don't be picking up because you infinite vibe. Not unless your intuition is telling you that it's perfectly okay, but you never know. Somebody throw out their keys, they may have a curse on them keys. You gonna have to cleanse yourself now, hon. You don't be picking up nobody else's keys like that. Unless you are experienced in some kind of spirituality. Even if I felt that those were Papa Legba's keys or something, I would still consecrate them in some kind of way. So, no, I ain't about to. Yeah, because you never know who they belong to. Yeah, you can pick up negative energy. It don't even have to be a sorcerer. It can be somebody just with bad luck on them and they lost their keys and that's why they lost their keys because they're having bad luck. So you don't pick that stuff up like that. Uh-uh. You don't do that. No, sir. And then also, Amaris Cunningham, you want to make sure. Hey, listen, Amaris, I'm just gonna warn y'all about something. When you just automatically, because listen, you said sending healing vibes. Well, it's not healing that he needs. Amaris Cunningham, it's not healing that he needs. He probably needs a hex broken off of him. You don't go picking up keys like that. No, like, because basically somebody passed something to you. You know how, like, when you just having a string of bad luck and you know how they say it comes in threes? So if you lose your keys, that's extremely bad luck. Especially if you ended up, now that could settle the karma of a hex, but then you went and picked it up. You went and picked it up. You went and picked up somebody else's karma. It depends on what that. So it ain't just a practitioner. It can just be your normal average Joe or Jane Doe that's walking around and, somebody lose their keys and they may have broken a hex from themselves from losing their keys, but the hex is still in the keys. You just don't go picking stuff like that up. That's why I'm glad I ain't never had to do no community service. I do everything. If I was in, y'all, I've always been a nerd. But if a judge sentenced me to, if I even thought they was planning on sentencing me to some community service, I'm gonna try everything in my power to get out of it, and I'm gonna be wearing gloves, protection, all kind. You don't be picking up nobody else's trash like that unless you know what to do. Like, for example, when that person came and threw up in front of my house, I went and poured ammonia over it and prayed over it, blessed it, and you know, and it was still pretty bad. But I'm not gonna speak on that because I've made quite a few changes. But objects are more than likely, like, picking up objects is probably one of the most dangerous things that you can do unless it comes from nature. Pine cones. Now, there are some berries and fruits and certain things that you can find outside that you don't want to bring into your home or you just don't want to touch them. Okay. But, like, pine cones or walnuts, or even, when pine trees lose like a little limb, you can pick those stuff up and use them in your magic or just use them to bring in the energies. Okay. But you want to be careful with objects, especially something that's a key, because you know that somebody else owned that key. You know, sometimes when little things like that happens, that does mean that you're being released from something. Like if you lose something, but it doesn't always. That person could be roaming around, you know, crazy. You just never know. Not trying to scare y'all or anything, but like this little gem I found outside, y'all. Call me a nerd. I'm such a big kid, I know. And it's got like a little piece of pine. It's like a little tiny pine cone. Is that not the cutest thing that you have ever seen in your life? So yeah. What? I'm coming to your house. James, stop. I'm gonna have to block James because you kind of creeping me out a little bit. Who are you, James Barnwell? Who are you? Talking about you coming to my house. Oh Lord. Tupac is gonna protect me from you in case you mean me any harm. I love me some Tupac, man. Like, he was one of the last real artists He was like one like these other artists these days, man. I never would have thought. But the older people said this about hip hop, and hip hop was not that like. But today's hip hop and music, it's very very different from a decade ago because they're literally like, I mean, they're blatantly doing like destruction and death magic rituals and stuff in their freaking stuff. So it's just like, it's like, no, go away. Where's my ink? Where's my ink? You know what I'm saying? So, mm-mm. Thank you, James. I can't wait to decorate with you. I think James is probably one of these people that have like a harmless crush on me. So, yeah, y'all just, goodness gracious, you were funny. You were funny. Um, like I said, y'all be on YouTube trying to find dates and stuff, and y'all need to be on here trying to find some enlightenment. Okay? Yeah. Hmm. Okay, yeah, let me block him. I'm gonna put you in timeout because you're doing too much. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. I'm sorry. No, anyway, but I just put him on timeout because it's kind of like, it'd be different if the chat was blowing up and I wouldn't barely see you, but I just wanted to delete those messages because I like y'all be doing too much on these YouTube streets, okay? Y'all do. Y'all be doing way too much. Okay. So anyway, like, yes, Doreen Virtue. You cannot just say that you're a former psychic. Like, what is this lady? I'm gonna do a reading on her. I am. And you know what? I may do it tonight. I may do it tonight because I just want to get all up in that lady's business. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm gonna do it tonight, y'all. I am. And I want to check her out and see what's going on with her, because what I want to know is, was she a fake? Like, that's what I want to know. And it don't necessarily mean that, it could just mean that she's changed her path, which is totally fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, if you were born with the veil, then it just, she was born with the veil. You can't medicate that stuff out. You can't necessarily, like, which the main medication is medication, pills, people popping pills and stuff. Alcohol is totally different. Alcohol is different. It is. It's very, very different when it comes to spiritually, because a lot of people feel like when you drink alcohol, you're self-medicating. But I think that with the difference between medicine and poison is the dosage. So if you have a small amount of red wine, that's like, and then especially if you consecrate it, but those medications and stuff, oh God. I couldn't even imagine. I've sort of gotten used to it because I am very empathic. Like the other day, what I was dealing with, but I think that the reason why it had hit me so hard, like whatever it was that I was picking up in spirit, is because I popped two pills. One of them was my multivitamin, and the other one was my iron pill. And I popped them on an empty stomach and without thinking, and it sort of opened me up more spiritually. Like I was just feeling everything, and I don't know whether or not I was taking something in or releasing something that day. It was really a trip. So now I kind of know not to do those things. And really, to be honest with you, I would rather get my nutrition through food than multivitamins and stuff like that. Like, because it is a possibility, like, I don't know. I usually try to keep some spinach in the refrigerator, the baby spinach, and I usually keep like chicken livers and stuff in the freezer. Um, the grocery stores have been like kind of weird about that though. Like they haven't had any chicken livers. It's so weird. I do eat meat, so I know y'all thinking, ew, she eats meat. Some of y'all vegans. But everybody over here should eat meat except for maybe a couple of y'all. And I like vegan cooking. I will eat vegan food. I will, as long as it tastes good. You know what I'm saying? Because I do eat vegetables. But I eat meat, especially red meat, rare red meat too, because I have anemia issues. But they're more so circumstantial. I've been anemic kind of off and on my whole life, but they were mainly circumstantial. And then sometimes, well, it was all spiritual too. But so, yeah. And I think that that's what was going on with me that day, though. And I could just feel so, it was just like, I was like, what is going on? And I had a horrible, horrible panic attack. Horrible. But I figured out where it was coming from. And I kind of dealt with it, and felt much better like later on that night. I've had empathic panic attacks that literally has kept me on my butt all day. And it's because of the nutrition. Just like if I get up every day and just drink some milk, I'm a milk drinker too, y'all. I drink milk. Okay. In fact, I love milk. So if I get up every day and drink milk, I like literally, I won't have any anxiety. And so you guys know that I'm allergic to shellfish, so I can't eat shrimp and lobster and stuff like that. I'd like to. I'd like to, if they could come out with a pill to heal me of my shellfish allergy, I would do it. I get a horrible reaction from shellfish, y'all. I cannot do it. I can't. It makes my gums itch. It makes my actual teeth itch. It makes my teeth itch. It's terrible. And it makes my throat itch. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. I can't. I can't. In fact, I was like I don't cook seafood in my house because it can't be cooked in the same house that I'm in. It can't. If it's something that has seafood in it, you can heat it up. But as far as the cooking process, oh my God, I will instantly start getting a reaction. I'll start feeling flushed. I'll start feeling itchy. It's terrible. So, and I actually, like the last time I was around any kind of shellfish cooking was when my cousin was here and she made some shrimp and she was frying it in butter and garlic, which by the way, I am jealous. I'm jealous of y'all that can eat shellfish. And I am. And y'all just be eating it, all playing around and stuff like, this is so good. It's so good. It's like, you know what? Screw you. Because it is good, but it wasn't a jealousy reaction. Like I am seriously allergic to shellfish. I've been I figured it out. I discovered it when I was about 10 years old because I had some kind of flaming cheese at a Greek restaurant and it had shrimp in it and like I was oh, it was terrible. So I tried it once and then my mother took me back to that restaurant and then I tried it again and I said, yes, definitely the shrimp. And I don't know. My theory is that luck of the draw, I ended up allergic to it because I probably was fed it at a young age. You're not supposed to give seafood to babies or peanut butter or honey because they can develop allergies later in life. Well, my auntie who raised me until I was 5, she had me eating, as soon as I could start eating, she was stuffing shrimp and lobster in my mouth. Because, they felt like, because my family is real big on seafood. They be serious. They do. They be serious about it. So So I'm pretty sure that my auntie gave that to me. You know what else I wanted? What I will tell you is that I do eat pork. I sure will. I don't understand these people that don't want to eat pork. I will never like I don't understand it. I don't. I love pork and pork chops. What's wrong with pork? What's wrong with bacon? Just like I don't know, like you don't want to eat it in excess, you know what I'm saying? But I think especially if you make certain casseroles or dinners and and you use pork, and beef in it, it's just like I don't see the problem, but hey, cuz I'm actually making some rotel dip and I was looking at this recipe earlier where you could use pork in it. I usually use beef. And sometimes I'll put a little bit of sausage in it. Like I'll chop up sausage and put it in there, either, just sausage just regular sausage in the package. Uh, maybe go half and half. It does taste better when you put a little bit of pork in it, like half pork, half beef. So I've been wanting cheese and jalapenos. And I've been eating jalapenos out of the out of the bottle. Yeah. So it's jalapenos are like a warming food. So that's why I also want when y'all get done with y'all turkeys, don't throw that away. Y'all better make y'all some soup out of that. That's just like with that ham bone, you can make your beans or either some kind of soup with it. So anyway, I done went off the subject. I'm sorry, y'all. Like she's done talking about the whole other stuff, but yeah, so anyway, I wanted to say that I felt really triggered. I don't know why I keep letting this lady trigger me, but I'm going to come back later and do a reading on her because I'm ready to be nosy and get all up in her business. So I'll come back later with that because she's just like, I don't know. I hate to say that maybe she just could have not been, but just because she wasn't necessary and authentic psychic doesn't mean that you can't, as a psychic, use her decks. Because I thought she had some amazing decks, even though I'm pretty sure they were sponsored. Like maybe she was the inspiration behind them, but it just she disappoints me. Doreen Virtue, you disappoint me. You do. I'm not even gonna lie. Every time I go over there and look at her channel, I just go, oh, you know, I do. No harm intended. I'm not angry at her. It's a disappointment because, it just seems like, first of all, it goes against everything that we believe in. And it just, I don't know. There's nobody that's a psychic that's going to ever say, hey, I'm not a psychic today. You're always a psychic. So anyway. All right, y'all. I got to go. I will see y'all later. I hope y'all enjoyed this discussion. Blessings, guys. Bye-bye.